All right, thank you so much for choosing Day Trader today for your technical needs. I do want to draw your focus. If you don't know how to trade, please come here. I will not do that. And then, of course, there's four things that I go over. In addition, there's one more thing I put here for you, and that's how to know whether or not you're high or you're low, or what type of bar it'll be before it even closes. The threshold, how far that live candle will pull back before it resumes. And then the price action trend, you just need to be able to count to 10. And then the price action method, I use the majority principle, which states the minority is compelled to follow. And then the chart scale, I'll teach you how to read your hard right edge so you never have to look left. I mentioned this morning in this video here that I would be making a change to the chart, so I had to refresh it. So some of the data is missing, but there's a lot there that I wanted to make sure that you're able to see. So I grabbed some 5-second charts. All right, so let's do that really quickly here. The first oscillator nearest to the candles, that comes with the $100 purchase. And there's some SR levels that come with that as well. Now, as I scroll forward, I want you to pay attention to the CBD, the density map that's below it, and then the other histogram. I just forgot to cut on the oscillator in this one here because there is oscillator associated with that information there. Do forgive me for that. But as I scroll forward, just take a look. And the levels are a part of that first histogram. So the one up at the top, there's some price action as well as some order flow stuff, hidden in there for you as well. And typically they do not supposed to touch the levels, right? Typically, but sometimes they can overshoot. It's SR. That's all it is, support and resistance. All right, so there should be some kind of reaction when they get there. I hope you paid attention to that information. Now, let's take a look at the structural differences that I have for you as well when it comes to the $100 and the $200 purchase, or the 250 purchase. The first thing that you're going to notice is the swings. So the swings up here, the majority pattern that I teach, it's placed in brackets, so you'll know how many actually showed up in that particular push. That's down here as well. However, there's at least another 7 or more stats here for you. All right, now when it comes to this bottom, let's just try to take a quick look back here before they went up. Let's take a quick look. But yeah, so we have that information there. They kind of went up. And again, these noise filtering zones are based on absorption, the ones that's down here. All right. So that's important. Now, there's a way to trait this stuff. I do want to tell you that. So let me just scroll back here. You're going to get a lot more with this one. And this comes with both. So the $100 purchase, you get this. Okay. So you're not missing anything there. All right. So that's the thing that I did want to show you. And again, there's a lot more information being plotted on those pivots with the 250 purchase. And it does have a divergence effect too with those little arrows. But I tell people don't try to counter the market. Go with the trend. I teach that a lot. So that's important. All right. So that's what I want to make sure that you see. It'll kind of give you, again, the volume and stuff. Now, the next thing that I want to show you here is there's a large difference in the time and sales. So that's your professional, and this is what it looks like. And then this is your ultimate pro. All right. So your ultimate pro going to provide you a bit more information. And yes, you have your majority patterns down here. And that can be calculated from 5 seconds all the way up to a 1 minute and a 200 moving average on the inside of that. And this is retractable. We'll be moving. All right. Oh, well, it's moving now. All right. So that's something else that you'll utilize. That's all. You'll be able to utilize it if you choose the need to do so. All right. So the next thing I want to draw your attention to is the timing information. Again, I had to refresh the chart because I wanted to add the outline around this gauge here. All right, so I did say that in this morning's video. You're more than welcome to go back. There's a ton of difference here. I'm not going to try to go into each and every last one of them. The most noticeable thing would be your pulsating bubbles. Pulsating bubbles. Really important. Switch the time frames and they will learn and adapt very quickly to whatever conditions that's happening on that time frame. Your large trade tracker, which comes with that time and sales, you have to enter in the number that you're looking for. Not ideal if you ask me, but I put it there for you. So if you're having the $100 purchase, you'll have something to go with. And then, of course, your arrows, that's tracking these blue bars along with the other conditions that can show up. Again, over here, this is the DTT column colored bars, and they're robust as well. Very, very important. They may color while in transition, but then the bar could end and they will not color because there's also an added condition for them to be important right at the close. Really important. All right, just want to say that. All right, so yeah, you have your stats down there with your patterns. Again, I teach the no touch and even some of that manipulation on that channel. So make sure you go to Futures Trading and check that out. And then here, this is going to track how many highlights you're getting. All right, because the background highlights, the bezel highlights, there's a lot of information. Even this gauge, you just see it turns red. All right, so over here, a lot of visual stuff, multi-time frame tracking, all of that good stuff. All right, you got the density map that was located on your time and sales. So we kind of pulled that time and sales information off to the right hand side and added a couple more additions to what it's tracking. All right, so that's my time with you. I wish you all the best with your trading. Take care.